Hi, this is Michael Koifman, and in this demo I'm going to show you how to prevent accidental or malicious leakage of source code into the unapproved instance of GitHub. Right now I am looking at my laptop, and let's take a look what I have. I just created a brand new repository in GitHub, and I'm protected by Netskope. And we can go here and take a look at it. Going to look for an activity by myself. An application name is GitHub. You can see here that I went to the GitHub and created a new repository called SA Tools, and GitHub instance is Netskope Corp. Now I did that using a browser. You can see here that this is a private repository that I created, and there's only one file here, readme.md. So I'm going to go and clone it. I'm going to use a CLI, and now it's done. If I go to my repository, there's a file there. I can add a new file now. And going to git add first data. I'm going to git commit now. And now I'm going to send this data up to GitHub. And it's done. Now we can take a look into GitHub. We should see the second file being committed to GitHub. Everything was done in the Netskope, so we can go here and refresh this page, and we can see my activities now. We can see here that I have downloaded this repository. That was the git clone. This is where I downloaded SA Tools. And then when I committed the file, I uploaded, and you can see this upload activity to this repository. The instance ID is Netskope. This is Netskope Corporate GitHub. So everything is good here. Now in the same laptop, I can certainly have a different repository. So I'm going to take a look at that. Let me go here and let's take a look. I have another project here called test repo, and you can see here, if I look at the .git directory, let's look at the config here, you see that the origin of this is my own personal repository. It's not Netskope's repository, but it's my own private repository. I was able to get the data and clone this repository onto my laptop. As you can see, there's some data here, but let me create a new file here now. I'll copy test1 to test2. I will do git add test2. I will do git commit. And now I'm going to try to git push this into GitHub from origin into master branch. And you see here that I'm getting blocked because I'm trying to upload and commit data to unsanctioned instance of GitHub. Now we're going to take a look at the application events and see what's going on here in the Netskope tenant. There are two new alerts here. They have orange dot next to them, meaning there is an alert. There's a policy violation. And we see that here there was an upload activity to the instance mkoifman. This is my personal instance. And as you can see here, my previous uploads were to Netskope. So we will be able to recognize that this is not a Netskope instance, and we're uploading data to the personal instance of GitHub and block it. Let's take a look at how it's done. We can go to our policy engine. Let's take a look at it. Right here we have two policies. First policy is to allow uploads to corporate GitHub. We're marking GitHub Netskope Corp. This policy applies only to that instance, and it's explicitly allowing upload activity to that instance. activity is upload, action allowed. So any upload is going to be allowed. Now right below this, we have another policy that says block file uploads to non-corporate GitHub. As you can see here, this policy applies to any other instance of GitHub. My personal, anything that's not explicitly listed, as long as that instance is not properly identified, it will be identified as GitHub, and this policy will apply. So anything that's not explicitly allowed by the first policy above it is going to be identified by this policy. This policy says any traffic to GitHub, if it's an upload activity, then block it. And that's why you saw that block pop up, that block traffic when they try to commit code to my instance of GitHub. And this is how you protect your source code and data from accidentally or maliciously leaking into the unsanctioned instance of GitHub.